Hello everyone, and this is my review for WWE Extreme Rules 2015. And, I'll go off and say this, from beginning to end of this show, with the exception of the main event, this was a very entertaining show. Just all around. I felt the matches that they did tonight were well put together, well done, and, just completely... It fit the mold of what they needed to do for each of the storylines going on. Even with the kickoff show match with Neville versus Bad News Bear, just obviously no storyline behind the match, just all around a good, solid match to start off the night, and you could definitely tell the crowd was into it right from the get-go, from the entire night, and they were pretty much into it for the entire show, even for the main event, which I thought was just complete crap. And I'll talk about that in a little bit as well. But like I said, Neville and Bad News Bear, great way of starting off the show. I thoroughly enjoyed this match. It was a good way of Adrian Neville to show off what he show off what he can do inside the ring, and that's what he needs to do at this point, is just be doing that before they get him into a full-fledged storyline. Now, starting off the actual pay-per-view, they started with Dean Ambrose and Luke Harper inside of a Chicago street fight. This match, exactly what you expect, just craziness, weapons all over the place. I like the fact that the two characters in here played to the match perfectly. You would expect these guys to go after and use weapons at any given time, and that's what you basically got throughout the entire match. I even like the aspect that they did the spots where they drove off in a car and went on to other matches and finished this match a little bit later on. I like that. I like that spot in there. And then they went off and finished two more matches, and then they came back in and actually finished their match. I liked that aspect of it, and just a good way of starting off the show. Good street fight. Overall, again, like I said, just a really good street fight to go ahead and watch there. Dolph Ziggler and Sheamus in the Kiss My Arse match. Again, I didn't like the whole stipulation of it, but they played off of what they needed to do for that match. They did what they needed. Well, they played it off quite well in the end. I like the aspect of Dolph Ziggler winning the match. Also, really good match again in this case between the two of them. They've put on good matches in the past. No different here. Really good overall match. But like I said, for the ending, I actually like the aspect of Dolph winning the match, but in the end, Sheamus doesn't do the whole act. Great way of getting heel heat in there. Overall, they did what they needed to do there, and it came off quite well in the end. Then you had the New Day going up against Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. Just great match. Great match between the two of them. And I'm liking the aspect of, they're slow. I can't even say they're slowly turning the New Day heel, because you're catching like glimpses of them actually doing all these heel tactics and everything, but they're still trying to come off as faces in some way, shape, or form. So they're playing off this aspect of almost like a reverse John Cena thing here, because Cena just kind of goes with the flow of everything, with all the boos and everything like that. Now they're playing off the aspect of, why are we getting booed? We're just doing what we want to do type aspect in their characters. And I'm liking where they're going with the New Day at this time. And good to see that they're gonna, try to run with them as tag team champs for a little bit, and we'll see how they continue on, if they get a new storyline, or how much longer they'll be working with Kidd and Cesaro in the near future here. So we'll see where they go along with that as well. Next up, they had the Russian chain match, John Cena, Rusev. Basically like any strap match. I've never been a big fan of these matches, but they played this one off quite well. It wasn't a great match by any stretch of the imagination. And it's really hard to have a really good strap match when the rule is you have to drag your opponent to all four corners. That's just not a that's just something I necessarily don't like seeing. The strap matches that I remember and I like are the ones where, you know, the two opponents are just strapped together and they have to, and it's basically to keep them from trying to run away from each other. That was what the strap match used to be, but you know, they kind of throw this one in there with the whole aspect of, oh, you got to touch all four corners, this and that. And, you know, it doesn't come off great, but they did a decent enough job in this one to not make it a horrible match. John Cena going over in this case, highly expected, and not necessarily a bad thing here, because I've been liking what they've been doing with the John Cena Open Challenge on Monday Night Raw. Him getting to work with the younger talent gives that younger talent exposure to you know, to more people with them working with a more established superstar like that. So I definitely like the aspect of where they're going with the United States title. Puts more meaning behind it, and I've just been thoroughly enjoying that. So we'll see how they continue on with that, especially with the backstage promos later announcing that Rusev and Cena will have one more match at Payback for an I Quit match. So we'll see how they play that storyline off there and how they're going to finish it. I would expect they would still keep it on Cena, but I guess you never know in this case, so we'll see where they go with it here in the very near future. Next up was the Divas title match with Nikki Bella versus Naomi. The match itself was relatively good. I thought they put on a fairly entertaining match inside the ring. You didn't really have too much of a storyline built up about the two of them outside of, you know, Naomi getting 2 wins over Nikki Bella and then doing a complete turn as a heel. I like the new look that she actually has with the whole with her boots actually having the light up, and it changes throughout the match as well. I actually don't mind that. I thought it was a nice little touch for at least ring attire. As a heel character, though, I think they kind of missed the ball on this one. They should have had Naomi win this match. Like I said, entertaining match. Fun to watch, actually. Especially for WWE women's matches. But they missed the ball on this one. You just turned Naomi heel, and now you kind of just threw that one away. So it would have probably served better for Naomi to actually win this match, win the title, and then maybe build up a full-on feud with either Nikki Bella or Paige when they bring Paige back on to TV in the near future. So that's just my personal opinion on that side. The Roman Reigns Big Show Last Man Standing match. You know what? I'll probably have to say probably one of the better Last Man Standing matches in recent memory. They used the entire area well throughout the entire match, and it wasn't just like, oh, it's inside the ring at all times. It just kind of went everywhere. I love the table spot with Big Show choke slamming Roman Reigns through both the tables on the outside. Came off very, very well. The aspect of even throughout the match, like Big Show, like how determined Roman Reigns was to get a table into the match itself, and Big Show kept trying to, in the one case, Big Show actually breaks the table with his hands and saying he doesn't need a weapon, he is the weapon type aspect in there. I liked that. The spot with the announce tables was great at the end of the match. Just overall, very physical looking, great Last Man Standing matches. Just thoroughly entertaining to watch all around. Now this brings me to the main event for the night, and I said I personally thought this was a crappy main event. Overall, the show had been great up to that point, but they over convoluted this match unnecessarily. The whole aspect of the RKO is banned, and it's inside a steel cage, so if someone uses the RKO, and we'll get into that one a little bit later too, they get DQ'd in a steel cage match. you should never get DQ'd in a steel cage match. And then you have the other aspect of Kane playing the gatekeeper, which, I mean, they at least played it up a little bit throughout the entire match, like, oh, he's not going to let Randy Orton escape through the gate, but Seth Rollins accidentally knocks Kane down at the end, and causing Kane to go into like a rage where he just chokeslams everybody, J&J Security, Randy Orton, Seth Rollins, before the end of the match, where, you know, okay, Randy Orton used the RKO on someone who's not in the match. Okay, so no DQ in there, but Seth Rollins is allowed to use the RKO. I'm trying to think of when they were, you know, announcing this, of how they were actually saying it, but I believe they just said the entire time the RKO was banned, so in technical terms, DQ should have happened there. And that's just where I felt the continuity was completely off. And again, like I said before, and I said this in the Raw review, I call this match the TNA Let's Throw stipulations, as many stipulations and other people in this match because we can match. And again, and it had the TNA finish even, where you say one thing's banned, it would cause a DQ, and someone uses it in the match, and no DQ happens, and there's a decisive winner somehow, and it just came off so badly in my mind. It did not it did not end well in any way, shape, or form. I'll say it again one more time. This show was fun and entertaining to watch, with the exception of the main events. Bar none. That's all I've got to fully say for the rest of about the rest of the show. And, you know, that is my review this time for WWE Extreme Rules 2015. And I thank you guys for watching.